We're back at halftime here at Gresham High Stapleton Field, and it's the game out here at East County for the bragging rights, so to speak. Gresham against Barlow. No score. A lot of action in the first half, but neither team had a chance to score. Now, the only other game going on this evening in the Mount Hood Conference, Centennial is at Sandy, but last night it was Central Catholic 33, Columbia 8. That was Thursday evening. And also David Douglas defeated Reynolds 34-14. And that's where we stand right now as far as games completed. Again, Barlow undefeated so far in Mount Hood Conference play. 5-0 atop the MHC, and a very big game here for them tonight, Drew, I'll tell you.
Well, and they've been up to the task defensively. The question of whether the offense is going to come through in the second half, we'll find out here in a moment. But as you mentioned, Barlow 5-0, David Douglas 5-1. The Scots had a tough game last night with Reynolds. Reynolds proving it was no fluke when they played the Gophers. They were up 13-7 last night in the first quarter before David Douglas put them away during the rest of that game. I'd say Reynolds very much still alive, but David Douglas 5-1, Central Catholic 4-1. And then we've got Gresham, Reynolds, and Centennial all kind of battling for that other spot. And there the Gophers are running amok right there, Jeff. We'll see if their offense can get on track. I got a few statistics here from the first half, and they're going to boggle the minds of some folks. We talked about Frank Harrison and how dominant a runner he's been this year. First half, 12 carries, only 20 yards on the ground for Barlow.
It's a credit to the Gopher defense, as again we pointed out, Gresham was very much keying on number 20, Frank Harrison.
On the other side, Todd Wolf is not doing much better, but he is doing a little better. 10 carries for 39 yards for the Gophers, and most of that came on that last run from scrimmage in that last series, I should say, where he picked up about 25 yards on one single play. So Todd Wolf having some rough going as well. Mostly it's been through the airways in the first half. What yardage we've had. Aaron Miller is 6 of 8 passing for Barlow for 79 yards. He did have one intercepted. And on the other end of it, Williams 5 of 9 for 64 yards for the Gophers. But neither one of these teams really wants to pass the football, so I'm not so sure what's going to happen offensively here in the second half. But both teams have made some adjustments at halftime, no doubt, Jeff, and I'm sure somebody's going to come up with something. I would be very, very surprised if we saw the goose eggs continue throughout the rest of this game.
Well, in the first half, we also saw 2 turnovers to the Barlow Bruins. One, that interception you pointed out, and the other one when the Bruins were on the 2-yard line of the Gresham Gophers after a big play, a big pass completion from Aaron Miller to Matt Brady. It was second down, and Frank Harrison would seem to have gone in from the 2-yard line, but he fumbled the football. That was their second turnover. The Gophers were able to hang on and come out of it unscathed. Gresham, on the other hand, only has 1 turnover. Todd Wolf fumbled on the very first play from scrimmage of this ball game, and the Bruins tried to take it in, but they were unsuccessful as the Gresham defense really stiffened up and rose to the task, and that's what it's been like through the whole first half. Both defenses for both ball teams have done a very, very, very good job.
And we talked a little bit about intensity before, Jeff, and saying how neither team would have much trouble getting up for this. I think probably for Coy Zimmerman and Gary Stouts, it's been a matter of kind of maybe low-keying this game a little bit, trying to tell the teams, hey, the whole season is not on the line here tonight. We're sometimes prone to hyperbole up here in the broadcast booth doing.
Who said that?
Telling people that, you know, this is the whole thing. And sure, it's the game, but it's not the season for these two teams. I think maybe if they settle down a little bit, we're going to see maybe even better football in the second half than we saw in the first half. It's been a great game to this point, but I think we may see the individual talents begin to come out for us a little bit in the final 20 or so minutes here. We'll see.
Team captains talking there at midfield with the referees. That's Sean Billmore and Russ Major for the Gophers. I was trying to see, I believe it's Gunderson and number 66.
Brad Joy.
James Dennett was the other captain for the Barlow Bruins.
Brad Joy, number 66, who's a 2-year letterman. A couple of those on the Barlow roster, and that's always quite an achievement. Jim Andrews, another one.
Talked about the Centennial Eagles going against the Sandy Pioneers, the only other game in the Mount Hood Conference tonight. Next week, they'll be taking on the very same Barlow Bruins right here on ECTV. We hope you can join us for that ball game. 2 o'clock next Saturday afternoon on Channel 25. Well, Barlow won the toss and elected to kick in the first half, so they'll be receiving here, I would imagine, in the second half. Start things off. Corey Zimmerman wants to get that ball and got to get some points on the board as we're still at a standstill here. Two big goose eggs up there for both teams.
Got to feel that's not going to stay that way for long, but you never can tell. Statistically, as we mentioned earlier, these two teams doing very well defensively. Barlow, again, #1 in the league, has only given up 150 yards a game. So for them, they're right on target tonight, Jeff. In fact, they're a little over their average in terms of what they've given up tonight. They've given up just about 100 yards to the Gophers offensively. And so normally in a half, Barlow would only have given up about 75. Gresham, on the other hand, has given up 224.
We look at Jason Hubert down there, the kicker for the Gresham Gophers, as he tees it up. Deep to receive the kickoff here to start the second half off. For the Bruins will be Frank Harrison. And also back there with Frank will be number 26, I believe it is. As we're just about set to start the second half here. Again, no score in our Mounted Conference game of the week. We'll see what the second half has to say here as we're underway. A squib kick on the ground. It's taken out about the 15-yard line.
That's bounce.
Got some room around the left side. Good run back. All the way up to about the 45-yard line. So good field position for the Bruins to start out the second half here.
Pulled down by Corey Kersley over there. And Kersley, again, one of those special team players who may not get a lot of credit, but very important to the overall flow of the team. And now things turn out. But again, Bounce trying to turn the corner. There's Kersley over there to pull him down. But a decent run back. And again, Barlow, they've had field position all night, Jeff. They just have not capitalized on it.
Mark it at their own 43-yard line. First and 10 for the Barlow Bruins as we start the second half here. Straight ahead. The ball carrier, Frank Harrison, and nothing doing as we pick up right where we left off. Going to bring up second down and a long 10 to go.
Am I back again, Jeff? There we go. Got connection problems up here. Flags all over the place on that one.
It's number 72 for Gresham, Mike Corcoran. He jumped off sides. We'll see if he was drawn off sides by the Bruins at all. Captain Russ Major down there talking with the referees. Number 72, Cochran, is the one who jumped off sides.
And he's going to talk it over with the coach on the sideline, too. They let nothing pass there. Barlow will take the 5, and it's going to be second down and 5 now for the Bruins, I believe. Helps them out when you're not moving the football. Those 5-yard penalties make a big difference.
Just underway here in the third quarter. 10 minutes and 50 seconds and counting. Again, no score in our ball game. It's been a defensive battle all the way. Bouse. And he gets maybe about 3 yards.
Close to a first down. We might start seeing Bouse get the football a little more just to try to get Gresham off Frank Harrison's tail. I don't know if they're going to mark this a first down or not, but it's right up there. Yes, it is.
There it is on the replay, and he did have enough.
Jay Bouse, just a hard driving runner that time, kept the feet grinding there. Finally picks it up. Not terribly big, 5'11", 160, but has the job done. Little desire on that play. Gresham, out of that 5'2", really been able to stack things up pretty well tonight.
Mark it at the Gresham 47. This is Harrison trying the line, and again, nothing for Frank Harrison as he's been bottled up all night long. Gresham doing a good job defensively against Frank Harrison. Russ Major in on the tackle there, along with number 62 for the Gresham Gophers, Rob Northrup.
Russ Major is just really starting to get back in the flow of the season, Jeff. We talked a little bit last week about how injuries had kind of slowed him down, kept him out of the lineup in the early going. Last week, major offensive force. Tonight, really dominating on the defensive end. 6'2", 235, definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Miller back to pass, and the rollout. Out there, intended for the receiver, Joey Mumm.
I was wondering when they'd throw to Joey Mumm. He'd been in motion for about 3 plays in a row. That time, Miller just didn't have really much time to get away the football. Steve Hull putting on a lot of pressure.
And so that's going to bring up 3rd down for the Bruins. And a long 9 yards to go. Again, mark it at the 46-yard line of the Gresham Gophers. 3rd quarter action, still no score in our ball game. Another passing situation for the Bruins. Straight back drop this time. Miller out there. This one's picked off. Number 74, the man who stuck his paws up there, and I'll tell you, Jeff Markham. I don't know how he was back there to intercept that pass, but he caught it.
Not sure they had him dropping back. He listed here, of course, as a defensive tackle. But you're going to see Markham be in the right place at the right time, and Miller just forced it in here, Jeff. Really doesn't have a man open, but bombs it in there anyways. Out there looking for number 80, James Pierce, I believe it was.
Markham comes up with the interception, and the Gophers take the ball over. And the carry is number 42, Tim Graham. That's the 3rd turnover of the night for the Barlow Bruins.
Graham, the fullback, little bowling ball type of a runner, but just doesn't get much that time. And neither team just going to give up an inch tonight, Jeff.
Wayne Cooley checks into the ball game, number 20 with the play for the Gresham Gophers as they go from their own 42-yard line. Right ahead, still on his feet. A great run. Number 34, Steve Hull, the fullback, straight ahead. That's what Gresham likes to do. They had everybody fooled on that play.
That's right. Running out of the eye that time. Hull's the up man. He hasn't seen the ball too much offensively tonight. He's the nose guard on the defensive end. We've seen him all over in the Barlow backfield defensively tonight, but that time he gets the call, blasts straight up the middle and uses that 190-pound frame to make a big gain for the Gophers. And we'll momentum, if I can spit it out here. Big Mo.
At the 38-yard line, this is Meldon on the pitchback. He's got some room around the right side as the Gresham ground game starts to get untracked here in the 3rd quarter. Another 1st down for the Gophers. Mark it inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. 2 consecutive running plays for Gresham as they start to open things up here in the 3rd quarter. Here it is again, Drew.
Good play calling here. They're mixing it up. Last time up the middle, this time Meldon on the pitch wide, stringing Barlow out along down the line. Another 1st down for the Gophers. And they are starting to move the ball, and what they want to avoid again is the costly turnover, which we've seen creep in here all night long, both ways.
Looking at the 36-yard line is where they've got it. Nothing doing on that play, maybe a couple of yards.
Gresham fans not really thinking too much of that play. That girl probably home wishing she was watching Miami Vice, or is it Maui Vice? What is the name of that show anyway? That time penetration just excellent by the Barlow defense. Just kept that play from going anywhere.
There's some of that Gresham high crowd.
The Gopher Blue.
2nd down and 4 yards to go. Straight ahead goes the ball carrier, Steve Hull. Going to bring up 3rd down, and they'll mark it at about the 26-yard line.
Here comes a critical call right here, Jeff. Hard to say what they're going to do. They've had success again throwing at 3rd and 7. But on the other hand, we've not seen Todd Wolf touch the ball yet here in the 2nd half. And you've got to think he's going to see the football here pretty quick. He's lining up over on the left as a slot out there.
Williams in trouble, loses the football, and Barlow recovers it. Number 85, drive for the Barlow Bruins. Jumps on that ball, Bill Hunsinger. And another break goes the Bruins' way, as that's the second turnover charge to the Gresham Gophers.
Well, exactly what we talked about, Jeff. They did not want the costly turnover here, but you're going to see it forced. Brad Joy comes in, number 66, makes a powerful hit. Ball pops loose. Hunsinger comes up with it. And the Barlow Bruins have it back again. It just keeps going back and forth.
It's going to come down to, I think, possibly a one touchdown and one field goal type of ball game if we keep going at this pace. Bruins take it over. Miller quickly to the air. It's caught.
Opens it up that time, and the man who had the big pass play the last time around, again, Mark Brady coming up with it, Jeff. He broke it open with that long one that got it down to the goal line. We saw it just before the half ended. You're going to see it here. Nothing special. Brady just flaring out over the middle. Right in the middle of the Gresham zone. Found the seam, and a nice pass there put out there by Aaron Miller.
Mark it at the 48-yard line as the Bruins now are on the move. Harrison tries the left side. He's got some room. Let's see if he can turn it upfield. Frank Harrison, his first big run of the night.
But you see what happens, Jeff. Finally, when Barlow takes the pressure a little bit off Frank Harrison, they hadn't been going to him. Gresham began to have to worry about the rest of the Barlow offense, and it springs Harrison free, plus a penalty here.
He went out of bounds at about the 25-yard line, and as you pointed out, Drew, Harrison, penalty against the Gophers. We'll watch it here again.
Harrison's going to get isolated over here. You see what happens. Gets out wide. He's got two men on him, but he springs by. Big play over there is where he got by Dave Bennett. Registering the first big game of the night, and that's kind of what we've been waiting to see Frank Harrison do all night. Barlow playing it smart, though. They're mixing it up, Jeff.
15 yards on the penalty.
Puts it all the way down now to about the 13, I believe, Jeff. And let's see if Barlow can avoid the turnover this time.
They were down there once before in the first half and fumbled it away. We'll see what happens this time.
Discussion going on down there. I'm not sure what the problem is. Apparently they marked. Could be a question about where they marked the yardage off to. Whether they tack that on to the end of the play or what.
Referee Ross Johnson down there in the white cap. So start the clock and let's go.
It'll stand right where it is. I'm very impressed with Aaron Miller tonight, though, Jeff. The passing situations, he's looked awfully good for a junior.
Straight ahead, and about a couple of yards on the carry.
That was Bounce that time, wasn't it?
Looked like Jay Bounce, number 24.
Gresham, or rather Barlow now, getting it down and scoring territory, content to just try to grind it a little bit on the Gophers.
You see the crowd lined up all the way around. That's the Barlow side of the field. They're lined up all the way around this football field.
That's the kind of crowd you would normally see at a Barlow home game, but this is an away game.
Little back to pass on second down into the end zone. That's Prusy, his big tight end. He lined up wide that time. Gets down to the 5-yard line. 6'4".
Temper's flaring just a little bit. I wouldn't want to get into a fight with Ryan Prusy. Down there around the 6-yard line. He's well short of the first. It's going to be third and probably 2. They're right on the 5. Let's take a look at it here. Again, you talked about Prusy earlier, Jeff, being a big target. Good man to throw to. Kind of a Kellen Winslow type. There he is right there. He's got the one-on-one coverage on James Dennett, who makes a good spearing tackle. Barlow needs this here.
Harrison, nothing doing this time, as Todd Wolf was right there. They'll stack him up just as he hit that line of scrimmage, and he's going to be down to about the 4-yard line is where they'll mark it.
It's going to be a little bit short. He got pulled forward on the tackle, but they'll take him back to where the knee hit, and that's, again, at about the 4, and they needed to get to the 3 for the first. And what do you do here, Jeff? You talked about just wanting to get points on the board. Here they are on the 3-yard line. Could go for the field goal, but we know that's not really a sure thing in high school. They're definitely going for the first down here. They don't have any second thoughts about it.
Boy, Zimmerman doesn't want to do it any other way. He's got a lot of faith in his offensive unit.
Franco Harrison, I bet you know.
Miller on the rollout.
Great
the
call.
First down
Great
and
call.
the touchdown. Aaron Miller from 4 yards out puts the Bruins on the board, and we finally have a score in our ball game. Little 4-yard quarterback keeper. And look at him going crazy on that Barlow side.
Just a tremendous call here, Jeff. You see the Gresham defense totally fooled. A great fake by Miller. He rolls to the left, takes it in untouched, and Barlow is on the scoreboard.
And Frank Harrison will try to add to that scoring lead that he has in the Mount Hood Conference, attempting the extra point here.
There it is.
And it's a 7-0 ball game, and we finally have a score here. It's the Bruins drawing first blood against the Gophers. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of our Mount Hood Conference Game of the Week right after this.
Due to the recent surge in new car sales at Murray Chevrolet in Gresham, their used car lot is now overstocked with top-quality trade-ins. Here are a few examples of the great used car values that are just waiting for you this week. And whether you buy one of these fine cars or any car or truck from Murray's big selection, you'll be buying an okay used car from a dealership East County has trusted for 17 years. So relax and enjoy shopping for your next used car at Murray Chevrolet in Gresham, proud sponsors of the Mount Hood Conference Game of the Week.
So we finally have a score here in our ball game. 7-0. The Barlow Bruins lead it. 6 plays it took them to get into the end zone after they regained possession of the football.
Pretty decent drive. 6 plays, 65 yards for the score.
Langley's kick is a short one, taken by Wolf at his own 10-yard line. And he gets back and a fumble on the play. And it's the Barlow Bruins football.
Really difficult to tell, Jeff, but that one did kind of look late from up here. But again, when you don't have the camera right in here on the field, it's hard to tell when the ball is squirted out. I'm going to have another look at it here, but Todd Wolf just fighting for extra yardage. Sees the ball drop out on him here. Here he is, wide open here. He's got a little bit of a wedge. Now he's in there fighting. Somewhere in there, you see the ball pop through, and he was still on his feet, apparently. The turnover is really becoming a big factor in this game. It's turned it right around for the Bruins.
At the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Miller back to pass again. Incomplete down there around the goal line. Pass intended for the tight end, Ryan Prusy again.
Well, Prusy drawing double coverage out there. Todd Wolf, of course, down there. And the man who hit the dirt out there for the Gophers was Kevin Muehlin. Good coverage out there by them, but if Miller had laid that ball up on the other shoulder, Prusy would have had the reception. He got him turned around down there. And as it was, he couldn't make the catch, and neither could either of the Gopher defenders.
2 minutes, 34 seconds left to go here in the third quarter.
Barlow's really opened it up, though, huh, Jeff?
Certainly have. The ball to go for 20-yard line. Miller on the keeper, straight ahead again. Some good yardage. Very close to a Barlow Bruin first down as he got down around that 10-yard line.
Looked like a busted play, but Aaron Miller making the most of it. You're going to see here, he's looking to hand off to somebody. I don't think he met a keeper there. You see it there. It looked like Baus might have missed the handoff. Miller keeps it and rolls up just pretty close to the first down there, short by about a yard. So Aaron Miller at this point, got to give him credit again. He's played a tremendous second half here, Joe.
Man of the hour for the Barlow Bruins. Big third down play here. They go to Harrison. He's tripped up short. But he may get the call again here, or I should say his toe may get the call again here.
Rob Northrup that time in on the stop for the Gophers. And Gresham really not doing anything differently defensively. It's just that Barlow's thrown a couple wrinkles here and come up with a couple big plays that led to the touchdown. And now we've got a very big play coming up on 4th and 1. It looks like they are going for it again. I don't think they're going to line up for the field goal, but we'll have to see. We only saw one player come in, and that would indicate that they're in the regular offense, and they are.
4th down and a yard to go. Straight ahead to Bouse. And he's got that first down.
Nice play by Jay Bouse that time, getting the big first down for the Bruins. And the other thing we've got to look at right now, Jeff, besides the fact that they're driving, is if the Bruins can get a score out of this, the time of possession really working to their favor in this half. They've held the ball for a long time.
Just under a minute left to go here in the third quarter. First down at about the 13-yard line of the Gresham Gophers. Miller back to pass again, sets up the screen to Harrison. Look out! Straight ahead, Harrison's going to be nailed just short of that goal line. Savage hit down there by Todd Wolf.
What a one-on-one confrontation there. You've got probably the best athletes on both clubs meeting head-on, face-to-face right there, which doesn't happen too often because Mr. Wolf is back there in the secondary, but you can see it right here. Well set up. Miller drops back, screen pass all the way, dumps it off to Harrison, and look at the running here by Frank rather. And there's Wolf ready to give him a bear hug, stops him short of the touchdown.
This time it's Frank Harrison. And he's in for the touchdown. So the Bruins capitalize on that fumble from the kickoff, and they take it down. 6 plays again and score to take a 13-0 lead now over the Gophers.
What's that old saying, Jeff? Tough to keep a good man down. There you see Frank Harrison, and this half he has really come alive. He's been stopped a number of occasions tonight, but right there on the little dive play, quite literally, Frank Harrison takes it in, and he's going right here for point number 92 on the season.
This one's a little bit shy to the left, but nonetheless, it's still a Barlow Bruin lead, 13-0 over the Gophers, and we'll be back.
The people at Oil Can Henry's can change your oil rather quickly, usually in about 10 minutes. At the same time, they take care of 9 other important service checks. So about every 3,000 miles, come see Oil Can Henry's in action.
The Barlow Bruins with a 13-0 lead over the Gresham Gophers here. 20 seconds left to go in the third quarter. That's Langley set to kick off. And again, it's a low kick to the ground. Wolf takes it about his own 10-yard line. Straight ahead upfield. And about the 32-yard line is where he's finally pulled down.
Savage stopped there by Kevin Bacasto. Again, another one of those special team players, and so we always try to talk a little bit about those guys when they get in there and make those kind of plays.
Mark it at the 32-yard line. 10 seconds and counting. This will be the last play here of the third quarter. Screen play to Graham. He's got some room. Let's see what he can do with it. Look out, he's gone. Finally pulled out of bounds at the 45-yard line as the clock runs out here in the third quarter. I'll tell you, the Gophers, not one team to die.
The Gophers taking a page out of the Barlow book there. They saw the screen pass work the other direction, Jeff. They decided to go for it. Touche.
Indeed, the Gophers not a team to say die, as they're trying to pump a little life back into their offense as we go to the fourth quarter here.
Well, they got to turn it around right here if they're going to do anything. Officials sorting out, and there is a penalty on there, a clip on the play. A personal foul penalty make it against Barlow. Tack that yardage on as we come back to the fourth quarter, Jeff.
The turnabout is fair play, as the exact same thing happens to Barlow now as happened to Gresham there moments ago when the Bruins scored. So Gresham getting a much-needed break here as they try to get back into this football game, but don't take anything away from the Barlow Bruins. Third quarter was all theirs. Took a little while to get heated up there, but they finally put the points on the board, and they lead it here 13-0 as we go into the fourth quarter.
Well, if you don't like defensive football, and you probably didn't like the first half, but stick around. Things have changed. We've got an explosion of offense here, and we're going to pick up more of that when we come right back here for the fourth quarter right after this.
Murray Chevrolet means service supremacy. For 8 years running, Murray Chevrolet in Gresham has achieved full certification as a service supremacy dealer, Chevrolet's highest award for customer satisfaction. This means you can always count on expert service counseling and factory-trained technicians working with genuine GM parts and the proper equipment to do the job right the first time. Service supremacy means top quality service and courteous treatment day after day, week in and week out at Murray Chevrolet in Gresham.
So as we go to the fourth quarter here, Gresham Gophers with the football. Pitch back is to Meldon. Cuts up field nicely. And finally brought down at the 21-yard line.
Uh-oh. Things getting just a little heated down there. Winston Brown having a few words with Meldon. And all of a sudden, we're seeing the offense kind of get on track here, Jeff. And I think it was inevitable. The defense tends to get a little tired as...
There we go. We lost our mic there again.
Watch those feet okay, there, big boy.
Those size 12s there. Then they hit the ball carrier, Todd Wolf. A little slant play. And he gets inside that. Let's see where they mark it.
Excellent effort by Wolf here, Jeff. They're just running off tackle. Nothing special about that, but you're going to see the effort by Wolf. Again, he's running behind Russ Major over there, and number 75, Ray Collins, didn't really get a very good block there, but just squirts his way up there. Sets up a 3rd and 1 now for the Gophers.
And mark it at about the Bruins 17-yard line. Williams back to pass. Meldon, very close. Touchdown. Jeff Williams on a 17-yard touchdown pass to Kevin Meldon. Watch it again here, Drew.
Well, Gresham knew they had to get points here, but this is a gutsy call nonetheless. 3rd down and 1. Meldon over the middle, wide open. Takes the pass from Williams, and this momentum carries him in, and it feels again like the press box is going to fall here tonight, Jeff.
Now that press box is rocking. High snap, and that's going to be a penalty against the Barlow Bruins as they jumped off sides there. So Jason Hubert will have a little bit closer shot at that extra point.
Bin, bang, bong. It's just gone crazy here in the second half. All of a sudden, it's like somebody let the dam break loose and the water flowing through.
Well, the fans, of course, a big part of the home field advantage for the Gresham Gophers here, and they certainly came to life on that play.
Gresham shut out through 3 quarters, but picking up the touchdown they had to have here early in the 4th.
Hubert attempting the extra point. It's up and it's good. And we've got a 13-7 ball game. The Bruins out on top, but the Gophers trying to get back into it. We'll be back.
You done the oil change, Delbert?
Just about, sweetie pie.
You done the oil change, Delbert?
Oh, honey bun.
You done the oil change, Delbert?
Sure did, cupcake.
You see an excited, happy crowd here. That's the Gresham side, of course, in the grandstands. Their team just scored a touchdown and got themselves back into this ball game. 13-7 now. The Bruins still out on top. Jason Kubert will kick off to the Bruins. Frank Harrison set deep to receive for Barlow.
Don't forget, Frank Harrison returned a kickoff 88 yards last week. That's why
on the ground. Brucey picks it up, I believe, as the ball carrier. And he gets all the way up to about the 40-yard line is where they'll mark it.
Now, that was Chris Bouse, I think, that picked that up. The short man on the kicks. Younger brother of Jay Bouse again. 6'2", 200, not the little brother. He's the bigger brother of the two, but he's the younger one. As I was mentioning, Harrison had that 88-yard kickoff return last week against Sandy, and Gresham wants to keep the ball away from Frank Harrison. They're seeing him get warmed up on the offensive end. They don't want him to carry it.
Corey Zimmerman on the sideline. His team has the ball and the lead, 13-7. The ball carrier is stacked up right there. Jay Bouse right smack dab at the line of scrimmage.
We've seen Steve Hull coming up all night long making good stops, Jeff, and there you see it again. Hull on the penetration from the nose guard spot. He's breathing heavy right now, but let me tell you, he's a tough little sucker. 190 pounds, and he's been breathing down heavy on the Barlow backfield most of the night. He's been giving Frank Harrison fits. That time, it was Bouse stopped up right up there with the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 12 as he lost a couple yards. Miller on the rollouts, got to get it away, hurry, and he's got a man complete to Bouse out of the backfield. I tell you, Jay Bouse is having himself a heck of a ball game here tonight.
Well, he is. We got a late flag on the play. Might have been a late hit again. Some kind of, but you're going to see here Miller on the rollout. Tremendous pursuit, and look at Miller on the run. Catch out there to Bouse. The penalty will negate that. And Aaron Miller a little bit down right now, Jeff, but he is showing people something. He might be the league's next Scott Sharpen, lefty, and he's got another year left to go. And I tell you what, Aaron Miller, I'm not thinking about next year right now, but he's showing us he's got quite a future.
Referee Ross Johnson marking off the yardage now as he talked things over with Russ Major and Steve Hull, the captains for the Gophers, on the defense anyway. And that is going to really hurt the Bruins as it marches them all the way back to their own 25-yard line.
Offensive interference, the call. You don't see that happen too much, and it seems like usually when you do, it's in costly situations. Now it's a 3rd and 27 for the Bruins. Negates it was a big first down pass play, and they've got to go to the air now.
Miller hands off
or
to
perhaps
Harrison.
the draw. I was about to say that. Either a pass play or a draw play. But the draw not going to get them the first down. They're way short.
So the Bruins are forced to punt the ball away as we take another look at it.
Now back as if the pass. Handoff goes to Harrison, but they were ready for that.
Meldon deep to receive for the Gresham Gophers. As they'll get the ball back and a chance to either tie things up or take the lead.
Meldon averaging 12.2 on the punt return, so this is not going to be returnable, however. Terrible kick.
Off the side of the kicker's foot, goes out of bounds at the 50-yard line, so very good field position for the Gresham Gophers, and they've got 8 minutes and 35 seconds with which to work here in the fourth quarter. Coy Zimmerman, I'm sure, concerned on the sidelines there. Hoping his defense will rise to the task here and get that football back and try to eat some of the time off that clock. His team has the lead 13-7, but Gophers can still be pumped up from that last touchdown they scored, Drew.
Well, the momentum does seem to be with the Gresham Gophers right now. They're trying to cool a few players down there because a couple of kids getting a little too revved up on the sidelines. We're not going to name names for you, but that's one little danger that you've got when the game starts getting a little heated.
Referee Ross Johnson talking things over with Barlow team captain James Dennett. Penalty against the Gophers in that particular play. That's going to march them all the way back to their own 35-yard line. And let's see what the call is here from Ross Johnson. a clip against the Gresham Gophers.
And that's really ridiculous because there was no punt return on the play, so a stupid penalty to wind up with a clipping call when there wasn't even any return there, Jeff. That hurts the Gophers badly.
Gophers try that left side.
Not a bad gain for Wolf, but then he was looking at a 2nd and 25 there, or rather a 1st and 25. Brings up 2nd and 20. And the Gophers, again, the irony tonight, Jeff, is that neither one of these teams have done too well passing this year, yet most of the scoring has been set up through the air. We're looking at it again. They've got to throw.
Williams back to pass. Got a man, Meldon, over the middle, in and out of his hands.
Couldn't hang on, but good coverage out there again by James Dennett. And number 27, that's Kenny Richardson. Get him and Kenny Jackson mixed up.
Going to bring up 3rd down and along 20 yards to go.
Graham coming out of there. Number 20, Wayne Cooley, bringing in the play for the Gophers. Haven't gone to Womack recently. He's split out to the bottom of the screen and building up top.
Delay. This is Wolf straight ahead. Got some good room. Open field running. Still on his feet. Todd Wolf. Finally brought out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Big play for the Gophers. Courtesy of Todd Wolf. Picks up the 1st down and then some. Delayed handoff to Todd Wolf. We'll see it again on the replay, Drew.
Well, we saw it last time around. Barlow went for the draw, and again, a good situation for a draw call, but watch the move he puts on Brady right here. If Brady could have come up with a shoestring tackle, Wolf would have been short of the 1st down. That's how far he had to go, but he gets 27 yards on that pickup,
Play
and
action.
the Gophers in business.
Just off the fingertips, intended for Womack. He had him in the open out there.
Oh, he was wide open. Somehow Dennett let him get by back there. Again, Dennett, the free safety.
Williams kicking himself because he knew that was a sure 6 points.
He can lay the ball up there nice. That time, I think that was one of those cases where the guy's just a little bit too open, Jeff. You get a little excited. You say, man, oh, man, he's out there, and you put all you got on him. Make sure you get the football to him. And then it's 3 or 4 yards too far. Good effort by Womack. What's gotten into Gresham here, Jeff? They think they're in the run and shoot or something.
2nd down from the Bruin 28-yard line. Again, Williams back to pass. This is Wolf out of the backfield. He's got some more room.
Nice cut inside by Todd Wolf. Not going to have the 1st down, Jeff. But
very close, though.
Nice move out there by him and a good catch.
This Gresham Gopher offense has certainly come to life here. I guess it took 2 touchdowns by the Bruins to wake the Gophers up.
There you see it. Wolf choosing to go to the middle. Goes with the pass and brings up a 3rd and 3 for the Gophers. They've been so pass happy lately. They wouldn't put a pass to the throw again here, even though they only need 3 yards.
Pitch back. Wolf gets the call again. And I believe he's very close to that 1st down if he didn't pick it up.
I think we're going to have to measure this one.
I'll tell you, we've got 6:36 and counting left to go in this ball game. And it's 13-7. The Bruins out on top. That missed extra point by Frank Harrison could come into play here if the Gophers continue on their drive. Going to be short, 4th down and about a yard to go.
That extra point is looming a little large, isn't it? But I guess we're getting ahead of ourselves. Gresham's got to get into the end zone
First they do, that's true. 88, Kevin Meldon checks in with the play for the Gophers as the Bruin defense has to tighten up here and see if they can stop him. Straight ahead on the keeper.
He's got it.
And it's a Gresham 1st down. Jeff Williams on the quarterback keeper.
I tell you what, Jeff. If I had to run a quarterback sneak, if you or I had to be in there, I'd like the Gresham line to be in front of us. Just a tremendous surge out there, and they've got some big boys to do it again. Mike Harrison, 6'2", 225. Mitch Butcher, 6'2", 220. Russ Major, we talked about him tonight. Tom Nagel's the little guy, the center, but he's a strong guy at 185.
Belden on the pitch back. Cuts upfield and goes down at about the 14-yard line.
Second or third time we've seen that play tonight, Jeff, and always got some pretty good yardage out of it. They line Milden up back in the backfield and get him the football. Kevin Milden, very versatile. We've seen him back in the secondary making some good plays and also catching passes. And there you see the clock winding down. That's why this is such an important drive for the Gophers. They don't get it in here, they may not have another opportunity, and they're going to take a timeout.
And wisely, Jeff Williams does that. 2nd down and 6 yards to go. He looks to talk things over with Gary Stouts. We'll take a timeout as well. The Bruins still out on top, 13-7.
Murray Chevrolet in Gresham would like to show you 29 reasons why you should come see us after the game today. Need more convincing? How about a dealership that's been serving East County's new car needs for 17 years now? We'll meet you after the game at Murray Chevrolet, 1980 East Powell in Gresham.
Look up. Hey, who's that guy down there? Oh, that's Ben Fredericks. Look at him. I guess they must have promoted him, Drew. He's on a camera now. He was a grip last week. Maybe he won't have to wind. Maybe he won't have to wind cord after the game. Belden on the pitch back again, still on his feet. And he's going to go in for the Gresham score from 14 yards out. Kevin Belden on 2nd down and 6. Ties the ball game up as Gresham goes crazy.
Talked earlier about the athletic ability of Kevin Milden. Pitch goes to the other side, takes it all the way in. Milden has 12 of the points for the Gresham Gophers tonight. And here is a very, very big extra point right here, Mr. Wright.
Jason Hubert. Kick is up. And it's the Gophers out on top. 14-13. They're going to have a heck of a finish to this ball game. You can count on that. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
First Interstate Bank of Oregon introduces the auto loan that gives you something you've always wanted. You can put a little money down, or a lot, or nothing at all. Maybe you're wondering who decides what your monthly payments will be. Well, it's obvious. So remember, when it comes to auto loans, or most consumer loans, First Interstate Bank has just one thing to say.
Okay, so we told you it was going to be a heck of a ball game. We invited you to tune in and watch it right here on ECTV. So what if it took till the 3rd and 4th quarter to turn out the way we said it would be, all right?
Well, we had 24 minutes of sheer boredom. If you think a game with no scoring is boredom, I thought it was a pretty good first half. Second half, Barlow comes alive. 4th quarter looks like Gresham owns it, but it's not over yet.
Hubert's kick goes into the end zone.
Better let it go, yeah.
And that's wise decision down there by Joey Baum. Thought about going after it, but let it go, and it's going to be a touchback.
Jeff, you've got to wonder at this point. This is a great rivalry. And we talked before how Gresham has dominated, and it looks like Gresham magic is striking again here in the 4th quarter. Now, Barlow, I don't think, has given up at all. But the Gophers are so pumped up right now. I think with a 1-point lead, they can protect it. But 5:01 to go, anything can happen here.
But I'll tell you, Gary Stouts has to be happy because earlier this season, the Gophers got down in the second half. It used to be curtains for them. We saw it in the game last week against David Douglas. They got mad this week, came back and scored 2 touchdowns to take the lead. Straight ahead, the ball carrier.
Good old Frank Harrison, always there when you need to give it up to him.
That one was Jay Baus on the carry, number 24. He's had the call quite a few times tonight, but we'll see what Harrison can do here as clock again winding down. 4 minutes and 40 seconds here in the fourth quarter. That missed extra point again, still looming. 14-13, Gresham out on top. Here's Harrison.
Tremendous tackle out there by our man Kenny Jackson.
That was Jim Andrews, the ball carrier, number 21 for the Barlow Bruins.
I don't know if we're going to get another look at that, but you're going to see Kenny Jackson come up and just stick him. Here it is again. One-on-one right here. Andrews had not seen the ball tonight on a carry. A little surprised by the Bruins. Doesn't go anywhere. Sets up 3rd and 5.
Big third down play here for Aaron Miller and Bruin company. Back to the air. Puts it up. His hand was partially hit. Intercepted down there. Big turnover. Dave Bennett was the man who came underneath it. Miller's arm was hit as he was in the motion throwing. Ball just went right straight up in the air.
Dave Bennett's 5'8" junior, biggest play of his career. Here you see it, Miller losing time, throws it up, and Bennett's just in the right place at the right time. And as I was saying, that's the biggest play of his young career. He's just a junior, 16 years old. But he's going nuts right now, taking congratulations. That may have sealed it.
At the 27-yard line, Graham goes nowhere, loses about 3 yards in the play, and there's number 50, Doug Gunderson, in on the tackle. He's not giving up to these Bruins.
I was just going to say, Bruin defense is not giving up at all. Gunderson and Brad Joy, who's been in on a bunch of plays tonight, in there to make the stop. They're not going to make it easy for the Gophers to wipe out the clock here. Sets up a 2nd and 15. I'm wondering if Gresham's had a lot of success throwing, but they might go back to Milden on a pitch. He's coming into the lineup right now.
Gophers will try to use some of the time off that clock. 2 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. The Bruin defense wants to stiffen up here and try and get that football back. Steve Hull, the fullback. Off tackle play. Gets deeper down into Barlow territory. Well, with Coy Zimmerman looks on from the Bruins sidelines.
From the Barlow standpoint, Jeff, you've got to be thinking ahead right now. We're going to see Hull again here on the play. Just a quick pop up the middle, first man through. From the Barlow standpoint, though, you have to be thinking of getting the ball back and what you're going to do with your next series. And I guarantee you they're going to be passing on every down next time around. Time is of the essence at this point.
It's at the 24-yard line, and the clock is stopped, of course. As we talk things over, it'll be the 3rd down and 7 yards to go for the Gophers. 14-13, Gresham out on top. They battled back into this ball game here in the fourth quarter after the Bruins had a 13-0 lead. Gresham came back and scored a touchdown on a nifty little 17-yard pass from Jeff Williams to Kevin Meldon. And they came back again to score.
3rd down and 7, but Gresham likely going to take 2 cracks at this first down anyway. They're not in close enough to go after a field goal, and yet punting's not going to do them any good, so they may as well try. Even if they don't get it here, you can consider that they're going to take two plays and maybe wind the clock down another minute, get it down to at least 1:30. So even if they don't get the first here, Jeff, Barlow's not going to have a lot of time to work with. And I think the Gopher fans think they got it in the bag. They're kind of maybe celebrating a little prematurely up there.
Ryan Brucey, part of that Bruin defense that has got to stiffen up here and try and get this ball back for the Bruins if they want to get into the ball game. Straight ahead for no gain.
Again, good penetration up there. It was Bill Hunsinger for the Bruins, and
Tim Graham on the carry for the Gresham Gophers.
It's a 4th and 6 now. They only picked up a yard on that, and they are going to talk about it a little bit. Another timeout. That only used up 16 seconds. And the Gophers have a tough decision here.
While they talk things over, we'll take a short timeout. We'll be back right after this.
Catch the Mount Hood Conference Game of the Week, featuring a new high school football matchup every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. on ECTV Channel 25. Also seen Tuesdays on KBLE Channel 11. It's hard-hitting high school football made possible by Murray Chevrolet, where Chevrolet makes the cars, but Murray makes the difference. And by Oil Can Henry's, the 10-minute oil change professionals.
Well, Drew, we don't usually have it happen that way, but that was another cable TV timeout there. We've had a couple other ones that got in.
That's right.
Big fourth down play here, 4th and 6 with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go. To the air goes Williams. Touchdown!
Oh, my goodness. What a call.
On 4th down and 6, Jeff Williams goes to the air, and I'll tell you, talk about threading the needle. We got to watch that again on the replay. That ball was right on the money, Drew.
We've seen Jeff Williams throw before. Here it is, one-on-one. Richardson beat down there by Womack. He hauls it in, and that's your game breaker right there.
That should nail the lid on the coffin. If not, it's got about 3 or 4 of them in, as we've got a fumble on the extra point attempt, but really does not matter at this point in time. 20-13 our score as the Gophers come to life here in the 4th quarter, and we will be back.
You done the oil change, Delbert?
Just about, sweetie pie.
You done the oil change, Delbert?
Oh, honey bun.
You done the oil change, Delbert?
Sure did, cupcake.
This is Jeff Wright and Drew Kaza back at Stapleton Field at Gresham High School. Gresham fooling everybody. 4th down and 6 as they go for a 22-yard touchdown pass from Williams to Womack. And the ball was touched by Joey Mom, so they'll have to bring it up. This is Andrews.
Look at him. He almost
Fumble on
brought
the
it.
play. Let's see if it's a Gophers ball. It is Gresham Gopher football, I believe. You see the signal from the referee.
Got out of bounds, Jeff.
No, it fell out of bounds first.
It did get out of bounds. Andrews almost had a shot to break that. Took a last-second tackle where he loses the football. You're going to see it here. You alluded to the tip there, Jeff. It looked like another break going Gresham's direction right here as Mum gets a hand on it. Andrews coming behind him. Watch the return here. He gets a little bit of an opening up the sideline. There goes the ball, but just gets out before Gresham can get control on the offensive team. It's not who touched it last. It's who had possession last, and Barlow had it.
All right, a minute 45 and counting left to go. 20-13, Gresham out on top. That missed extra point by the Gophers.
Barlow draws on the side there. Total movement.
Bruins not helping themselves at all, you bet.
Well, they've got a tough hole. They got 75 yards just about to go. Now they're going to tack on a little more. And with a minute 39, Barlow's not out of this game. Again, now instead of playing for the win, they're playing for the tie. Of course, if they get the touchdown, they could go for 2 and try to win this one. But they're going to be just about 80 yards from pay dirt here, Jeff.
The extra point attempt by Jason Hubert. Again, the snap was bobbled, and so the Gophers didn't get any kickoff at all. Had to settle for just the TD, and that's where our score is at. 20-13 now.
1st and 15. The yardage really doesn't matter now. Barlow's just got to make every play count going up the field.
Miller back to pass, has got some time. Prusy catches it, 1st down. Woo!
How about that one? You're going to see him start looking for Ryan Prusy. What a great target he is out there in the clutch. Again, I think he looks like the Kellen Winslow of high school football. They're going without a huddle now, and Aaron Miller is a good man to have back there when you need to come back. Here you see it, lays it right out there. Prusy goes high for the ball, and tough coverage for the 1st down.
And mark it at the Barlow 36-yard line, and a 1st down indeed. A minute 19. The complete pass stops the clock as Miller goes back again. Trouble. This time he's bowled over by the Gresham defense. Russ Major in there along with number 78 for the Gresham Gophers, Dwayne Hall.
That time the pressure just too much for Miller and a little too much for Barlow to try to provide pass protection every time. This is the problem. Miller's got to be ready to roll out and buy himself some time, Jeff, or they're not going to get very far here. He can't afford those sacks. We're up to about second down and 17 or a little more, I guess. Scoreboard showing 20. I'm not sure if it's quite that far.
We've got 1:07 left to go. There's a timeout on the field as the Bruins wisely called one. I'll keep it right here as Corey Zimmerman talks things over with his team. Big pass play, though, to Ryan Percy.
Well, they've got the capability of moving the football through the air. We've seen it all night, Jeff. And Coy probably calling that just as much to settle things down, slow things down. The last minute and a half can be like a fire drill sometimes, a Chinese fire drill, perhaps.
Second out and 17. Miller again to the air. And this is complete. Out of bounds. We're going to have a flag,
there's
too.
the flag.
Complete to the receiver, number 10. That's Tim Osborne, the split end. And he was going out of bounds anyway. He got a little extra help there from the Gresham defender, and the referee right there on the play threw the flag, and that's going to move it even farther towards that Gresham goal line for the Barlow Bruins. So a big break for Barlow.
Gary Stout's talking to the officials a little bit. I don't think he really questions the call, though. And this is the kind of thing you got to warn your kids about. There is no question at all as Tim Osborne gets over here to the sideline that he's out of bounds. We're seeing the replay from the last time there on the sack. Maybe we'll get another look at the pass play. Here it is. Watch Williams, Aaron Miller laying
He was out of
there.
bounds. He was indeed out of bounds when he took a shot from the Gresham defender. I didn't see who that was. Personal foul. That will move the ball to the 42-yard line of the Gresham Gophers with 1 second left. 20-13. This one can go down to the wire, folks. I'll tell you again, Miller to the air. This one intended for the receiver. He zigged when he should have zagged, and it was nobody near it.
Well, almost looked as if Miller was just trying to throw it away, and if that's what he was trying to do, he was quite successful. Overthrew everybody on that particular play. He had number 35, Mark Brady, out there, but it didn't look like he was throwing the ball that direction. Miller has been on target most of the night. And again, I think if I wanted to have a comeback in the Mounted Conference, needed a quarterback, Aaron Miller showing me he'd be the guy I'd pick.
Second down. Miller again back to pass. Lots of time. This one's picked off by Milden. I'll tell you, they're going to give him the game ball. We talked about that doing it, nailing the target. Evan Milden seals it for the Gresham Gophers. 48 seconds left to go. Unless barring a miracle for the Barlow Bruins. Here it is again.
Well, Miller just underthrows that pass terribly, and I'm not sure what happened, if there was a mix-up in the route. But again, number 10 was out there for him, Tim Osborne. And a nice return on the play by Milden. I don't think he did much for Gary Stout. Probably was about ready to have a coronary down there, seeing him run around. Wanted to just get out of bounds for him, might have fumbled it away or something.
And Williams just falls on it.
And here's the most exciting play in football we're going to get to see one more time.
I'll do that one more time, and that's going to be a ball game, but it's just exactly what we expected here at Gresham High between these two teams. True, it did take a while to get going as far as the offense is clicking. But we saw a great second half of football. That's the best second half of football we've seen so far this season, Drew.
Yeah, I'd say in a couple of years. But for the Barlow Bruins, this is just the greatest disappointment. They've seen it happen once again as the clock strikes down on Cinderella. Barlow losing the undefeated season and the game.
And that is your ball game as the Gresham Gophers show a lot of heart. Coming back. Down by 13 points as you see the fans storm onto the field. They win it here 20-13 over the Barlow Bruins. A heck of a ball game, and I'll tell you, no one should go away disappointed Bruins suffering their first defeat. They'll go now to 5-1, tied with David Douglas now atop the Mount Hood Conference. And the Gophers accomplished what they wanted to do here tonight, and that was keep their playoff hopes alive and come back after that David Douglas loss. They did everything they wanted to do. Drew Kaz is left, and he'll be grabbing a couple of the players, and I'm sure Kevin Milden will be one of them for the Gresham Gophers that he'll be talking to when we come back to Gresham High School as our Mount Hood Conference Game of the Week continues. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Due to the recent surge in new car sales at Murray Chevrolet in Gresham, their used car lot is now overstocked with top-quality trade-ins. Here are a few examples of the great used car values that are just waiting for you this week. And whether you buy one of these fine cars or any car or truck from Murray's big selection, you'll be buying an okay used car from a dealership East County has trusted for 17 years. So relax and enjoy shopping for your next used car at Murray Chevrolet in Gresham, proud sponsors of the Mount Hood Conference Game of the Week.
Drew Kaza back here at Gresham High School, where the Gophers have just come up with a big win in the game. Got to be the biggest win of the season. With me here is Kevin Milden and Steve Hull, a couple of the heroes in the Gresham cause tonight. And Kevin, you had 2 touchdowns, had the game-clinching interception there at the end. They're going to give you the game ball after this one, or what?
I don't know. I don't really deserve it. It was a team effort. Everyone had a part of it.
Boy, oh boy, pretty modest. Quite a ball game there, though. Let me ask you, going into the fourth quarter, you guys are down 2 touchdowns. Barlow kind of took it to you there in the third quarter. What was the thinking as you guys went into the last quarter there?
We just had to keep up the intensity because last week when we lost to David Douglas, we kind of let down after we got down, so we knew we had to keep up the intensity this week.
Okay, I want to ask you about the touchdowns in a second. Let me stop over here to Steve a little bit. You were in the backfield all night at Barlow. You guys did a pretty good job of neutralizing Frank Harrison. Did you talk much about keying on him tonight? It looked like you were really looking after him in the first half.
We knew that he was kind of a big runner and everything, and knew that that was their key to their offense and that we had to slow him down. So he was definitely one of the numbers that stood out.
You guys held him, I don't know if you knew this, but he only got 20 yards in the first half on 12 carries, so you did a real good job of keeping him in check.
Yeah, hey, it's all the team, you know, we're all one. We got a motto that says we are one, and we all do it as a team.
Okay, let's talk about the touchdown for a second, Kevin. The first one, the pass play out there. Maybe you can just describe that a little bit. We're going to run it on the replay here.
It was just I was supposed to run a 6, but our quarterback Jeff told me to run an 8. So I just ran an 8 up the middle and tried to beat their free safety, Danette, across the middle, and I did.
Just got a little bit in front of him there. Did it surprise you, though, that was a call on that particular play there?
Not really, because we talked about it during practice. We practiced a little bit, too.
But it was a short yardage situation, is what I'm getting at. Just a little element of surprise there, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, how about the next one now? The next time, the little pitch that you'd run just a couple plays before that. Talk about that for a second for us.
It was just a little quick pitch, but it was my first week running tailback. I only practiced it about a couple of days this week in practice. I was, but it was like my 4th or 3rd time handling the ball, so I felt all right.
You think you're going to be seeing a little more action back there after tonight?
Probably a little bit.
Okay. Steve, how big is this win to the Gresham Gophers? What's this going to mean to you the rest of the season? Is this a turning point for you?
Yeah, I think so. We kind of took the hard way. We had 2 defeats, and I think this is definitely going to be an emotional lift. Okay. We need it, too.
All right. Well, thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it. Congratulations. Got a lot of spirit back here, as you saw in the background tonight, and a lot of people in front of us enjoying this one. Celebration is on in Gresham tonight. I'll be back with Jeff Wright right after this.
Sure, I'll get around to it just as soon as I can get a little time.
Hey, don't worry. I'll get to it next weekend.
I'm sure I can work it in tomorrow.
These good intentions are brought to you by Oil Can Henry's, the people who can change your oil in about 10 minutes. Because the junkyards are filled with broken promises.
Jeff Wright and Drew Kaz are back here at Gresham High School. Tremendous finish. The Gophers hang on to win it 20-13. I guess you could say there was no first half. Third quarter belonged to the Barlow Bruins. In the fourth quarter, the one that counted belonged to the Gresham Gophers as they really battled back from 13 points down, Drew, and they come away with a 20-13 win. Quite a victory. You got to know that those guys are going to be celebrating tonight.
Yeah, they're going to be celebrating tonight, and I think the momentum is going to carry over for the Gophers. We talked before the game about whether this was going to be a turning point in their season. Really think it might be, and Gresham tradition really came into play tonight. It just seemed like they owned the fourth quarter when we turned it around. No sooner it had started, and 2 minutes into the quarter, they scored, and scored again. And Barlow really deflated. Tough loss for them, but you can't take a lot away from the Bruins. I mean, they played a great game tonight.
They certainly did. I think one of the keys to the game was how well the Gopher defense shut down Frank Harrison. He didn't have a night that we've seen Frank Harrison capable of having this season in the Mount Hood Conference.
That's true, and that put a lot of pressure on Aaron Miller, the young signal caller for the Bruins, and we spent a little time talking about him tonight. But I think you might have seen a kind of a future hope for the Bruins tonight with Aaron Miller and the way he played. It was tough at the end. He had to throw, and he got picked off. But, hey, he got them down there for the scores in the first place. So we're going to be seeing a lot of both these teams before the season's over. We got them on both once more, and, you know, they got good football ahead of them still.
Oh, definitely. Well, I know the Bruins and Coy Zimmerman got to be thinking we had that one almost all the way in the bag. We're going to add another one to the win. Only 2 wins against the Gophers, and now it could have been 3, but it wasn't.
And the undefeated season goes down the drain, too. But what the Barlow Bruins have to keep in mind, Jeff, is they're still in very good position. They were in first place before the game tonight. They're still in first, although now they're tied with David Douglas at 5-1 and Central Catholics at 4-1. The Bruins have a big game next week against Centennial, and they can't let up. The Eagles are out looking after a playoff spot. They're 2-3, and they want it bad also.
And we'll have that game right here for you on ECTV Channel 25, so be sure and tune it in. Well, that's going to do it. We want to thank Gary Ellis and his crew for doing another fine job. It was a heck of a ball game here tonight. Quite a crowd on hand, as there always is, for that East County bragging rights game. Final score, once again, 20-13. The Gophers win it. For Drew Kaza, I'm Jeff Wright. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you next week right here on the Mount Hood Conference Game of the Week. Good night.
You've been watching the Mount Hood Conference Game of the Week, brought to you by Murray Chevrolet and Oil Can Henry's. We're proud to show their support for high school athletics by making this program possible.